March madness begins. March is the craziest, most intense and happening month in 2025. We're going to have two eclipses. We're going to have Venus and Mercury going retrograde. We're going to have Neptune moving into Aries. Bam, bam, bam. Each one of those events is big astrological events. Put all five together, and I called it March Madness. So this is very important to watch, to be prepared. The layers will be shifting, the directions of our lives with eclipses, fated events get activated in our lives. With retrograde planets, we turn direction, we start changing how we feel, think, and feel about something. With eclipses, we totally derail the train onto another direction, basically. So, wow. And it's all happening in Aries, around the Aries area. But actually, to know specifically how this is going to affect you, you can, even if you're not looking at this video, you can just go to my transit calendar, personal transit calendar at astrolada.com, enter your birth details. No one else in the world will have the same transits like you have. These videos that I do for each of the 12 signs, they're just for your ascendant sign or sun sign or moon sign. But this calculator calculates every position of the planet in your horoscope. Is it Saturn? Is it Mercury? Is it Venus? And it gives you the transits that you're going to have day by day. It's only free for 7 days, but each 7 days it gets updated. So you always see 7 days ahead, but you can open for a longer period. And if you want to see those eclipses, one in Virgo, one in Aries, will directly affect you, you can check. For example, this is my horoscope. The eclipse is directly affecting me. It's conjunct my Mercury. It will totally turn around anything connected with Mercury in my horoscope. And look how many extensive interpretations there are. Or what other transits will retrograde Venus directly? They affect you directly. You look at transits of Venus. Oh yes, retrograde Venus will be opposite my Jupiter. Retrograde Venus will be square trine my Uranus. You can see much more specifically than those videos how you will be affected. And of course, we end with Neptune in Aries. Crazy. The eclipse, I don't know what's going to happen with the world. Let me just be honest. There might be big revelation of markets with those retrogrades, Mercury and Venus next to Saturn, next to Neptune, eclipse on the same degree. Some big news with wars and peace, because it's all happening in Aries. The world either getting in arms or disarming. I don't know which way it goes exactly. Big eclipse, lunar eclipse in Virgo. Virgo is the sign of the working class people, is the sign of the medical and hospital industries and the diseases as well. So where is going to hit us from? I don't know. This eclipse in Virgo is exactly opposite Saturn and opposite Neptune. So you have to be more careful with health, because this is the axis of illnesses, diseases as well, water, matters connected to water. But then all the action is also in Aries. So we have water, fire. Let's start. I'm not going to go for the whole world, but individually, because you're important, how you're going to deal with these energies in your life. And believe me, this is once in a year, very rare opportunity, a lifetime, to really reset in a big way a certain area of your life where all this action is happening, whatever areas is. Let's begin. And by the way, I have 5-hour video for Neptune in Aries, for each one individually, only for personal predictions. It's only $20. It covers all possible transits Neptune can have to personal planets over the next 13 years, sextiles, trines, oppositions on Neptune through each house, and they're all full of personal stories that I've watched people for the last 20 years, how they overcome Neptune transit, what happens in their life. I give you many stories from the highest to the lowest, remedies how to deal with that, and I also explain to you how to find all the transits. Very easy, you don't need to know any astrology. This is my love of work, my work of love, sorry. Neptune's affecting me already. For you, if you'd like to get it, I'm putting a link below the description. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising, March 2025. Scorpio, March, everything is activating. All the important, basically, changes astrologically are happening in your sixth house. First of all, we have Venus turning retrograde in your sixth house. And it's not directly affecting Scorpio, so some Scorpios will not really feel it, but the sixth house is there's so many activations that at least some of those things you would experience. Venus is turning retrograde on the 1st of March, Mercury on the 14th of March in your sixth house, and then there is at the end of the month, eclipse in your sixth house, and there is Mercury moving into your sixth house. So let's break down the sixth house. What is happening there? Well, first, the two retrograde planets, Mercury and Venus, for the majority of the month, we have those, you're going to feel in March, those influences of Venus and Mercury retrograde. What is sixth house? These are your daily routines, your schedules, your plans, your list, and everything that you have some routines every day that you do. Well, throw those away. Even if you don't throw them, something can mess them up. Maybe not every day, but it definitely you'd notice in March that you made your plans, but something appears out of the blue and you cannot do it the same way or throws off your plans. So you need to be more flexible, first of all. I know how focused Scorpios can be, how one-track mind they can have. Here I'm asking this month for you to be fluid, because there'll be some surprises thrown at us. And of course, your planet is moving direct, which is a help. So that's definitely, you still have energy and it's making good aspects to you. So it doesn't mean that you won't be able to achieve anything in your daily life, that everything will be a mess. There'll be some surprises, but your planet is starting to move direct already in March. So you are making progress more and more. But some hear surprises, maybe surprise from your work income, because sixth house is your work. Maybe they say, oh, we're going to change the software, or we're going to restructure, or we're going to audit the company, or we're going to change the management. And now you have to adjust. You have to you're used to some routine, you have to change something. Or maybe you're your own boss, so you decide to do some changes at the operation, at the efficiency level, which is good if you initiate them yourself. But again, this involves a degree of being, with changing all the schedules, all the way, how you do your work. Or you might be a stay-at-home person, you might not be working. This can, again, your plans, your routines, your schedules can be some surprise, I don't know, relatives come from abroad, so your normal routines are thrown off. Because also Venus and Mercury retrograde entail this energy of people from the past coming back, and Venus rules your seventh house, or people you haven't seen. Seventh house is other people, and Mercury rules your 11th house of friendships. So close people, friendships. So you might be meeting people that you haven't seen from the past in some way, or rethinking those relationships. Do you want those people in your life? Do you want people on your social media that you see still to see them? 11th house, social media, whatever, who is your audience, your public, your clients. You might be rethinking your relationships with clients and the larger audience through your work process. So you need to change your business strategy, because it's connected to the work somehow as well. Or maybe because of it throws off your daily routines and your plans and your graphics because of meeting up with people you haven't seen for a while, or them coming. Or it might be that if you're a boss, if you have people that you employ, that you're rethinking, should this person stay, or maybe I can allocate them to a different job. Maybe I should remove them, they shouldn't work for me. Maybe you're examining and auditing your work and the work of others if there's subordinates underneath you. Or maybe you're tapping into untapped resources of those subordinates and seeing strengths you didn't see before. You didn't recognize in them that they'll be able to help you with. Maybe you're working with others on some group or business project or work project that you have to put extra details, fix things, redo things a little bit to make it better. The sixth house retrograde planet say maybe that a job from the past comes back to you, a previous employment or an unfinished project, or a project that you've been working on for a while that you're putting finishing touches, completing, editing, and it might be delayed a little bit, but it's only the delay is happening so you can find out certain mistakes, or because there is something better that you can do with them that you didn't think of before, and the retrograde planet allows you this alternative view of how you can do either your routines, your daily habits, or even your health routines, how you can do them in a better way. But usually it's work as well. So some kind of upgrade at your work, some kind of rearrangements there. Or you might decide that, oh, I want to make my environment more orderly, more clean. And what you do, because sixth house has this Virgo energy, you see, and planets, they're moving retrograde. They're like, oh, okay, I want to organize all my drawers. They're a mess. I'm going to put containers inside and throw out things that or make my work processes more efficient. I'm going to get rid of this work that I do and instead focus, and you trim and you reorganize your work and whatever, and how you do stuff. Or if you're a student, your studying process to become more efficient. This is the ultimate goal of the sixth house, and those retrograde planets become more efficient, become more disciplined, more organized, more orderly. Remove all the frills and everything that might be distracting you. But also an old job, as I said, can come back, or sometimes you might just rethink, do I really want to work in this sphere? Do I really want to work with that? And you might quit a job, or you might be made redundant. There is this period of uncertainty as well. But don't worry, because right at the end of the month, there is an eclipse here in the sixth house of the sun, which is a new moon eclipse, which means new beginnings. And that means that you're going to, over the next 6 months after that, because solar eclipse lasts for 6 months, there will be a new opportunity. So if you quit a job, a new one will appear. Will be an eclipse, brings in something that is more aligned to your path in life. And this eclipse is about bringing new things, because it's with the North Node. A new job can appear that is more aligned to your path. A new employee that is better suited, or it can appear that you become more new process of how you work, new way of how you work and you do your duties and responsibilities that you do, new organization and new even skills. To some extent, this is also connected to skills in the sixth house. Virgo, the disciple. Or sixth house is also health. So if there is some health crisis during all those energies there, know that this is due to previous build-up of unhealthy habits or unbalanced environment, and toxic situation of some sort. And Mercury and Venus retrograde will really help you find out what are the core reasons for this, and to start correcting so you can give birth to a new health routine and health habits with the eclipse at the very end of the month, so into April, May. Like a restart of your whole system, because six houses, do you brush your teeth? Do you eat? How do you eat? Do you exercise? What's your posture? Is there mold in your environment? It's all of those habits. Do you get enough sun? Those wellness programs and habits and tips, and what time you wake up and fall asleep. These are all the habits of the sixth house. So there is a big restart energy there for you, not just in March, but in April. You can do very big, important things there. And again, if health issues appears, they can mean that you would be given the opportunities to correct and find. Also, the retrograde planets of Venus and Mercury in your sixth house can mean some unfinished job. We talked about that, or second diagnosis for something that you might get. But if you're going for a first diagnosis, very often it might be not correct during retrograde periods, if it's the first one. If it's the second, third, then getting better doctor, or revising What do I take painkillers too much? How do I self-medicate? Do I eat too much sugar, or do I drink something, or do I take antidepressants? This might be asking to change something with prescriptions, with medicine, with remedies, and even to be free from someone that might be making you a slave to them. So yeah, these are important things, I think. They're boring stuff, but these are important things. Okay, and as I said, also the work project, if there is some complicated situations with your work, maybe the eclipse can blast through that after that towards the end of the month. But there is another eclipse I forgot to talk about, which is in the middle of the month. You might feel it a month before and 2-3 months after. It's the lunar eclipse on the 14th in your 11th house, supportive for you. But what does it mean? Well, you might, and this eclipse is with the South Node. And it's about lunar eclipses, first of all, about relationships. That is a house of relationships, especially friendships and social groups. And there might be some focus there, some emphasis in the middle of the month on relationship, but there is the possibility of a crisis there with a friendship or reevaluation of a friendship again, because also Mercury rules your 11th house, and Mercury is going retrograde in the 6th house of imbalances and accusations, and you very quickly will see what is unbalanced, unfair about a friendship or a social group or a political group you're part of, affiliation of, or some kind of other social structure, organization, or just friendship circle that you are. You'd become aware of their 6th house. Mercury rules the planet of friendships in the 6th house of imbalances. If there is any imbalances or anything that is not fair and honest, you'd quickly become dysfunctional. That's the word. If it's dysfunctional, so you can correct it in regards to your friendships, or who you follow on social media, who your clients are, is the 11th house as well. There can be disconnection between your work and clients, work and income. 11th house is income. So some adjustments and some changes and some big shifts because of your income gains and how you work, or the process of work. These themes are connected, or dysfunctional friendships that need to be corrected, or dysfunctional group affiliations that need to be corrected, or maybe because of your work, you get the rewards financially now, because the 11th house is also rewards, whether it's bonuses, whether it's money from your business, whether it's public recognition or titles and honors. And if you've been doing the hard work, which is the 6th house, when the eclipse happens here within a month or month before, you might receive, and there might be the need for some corrections still, but due to your hard work, you can receive let's say a month or two after the eclipse, or within the period of the eclipse, you can receive some reward, some bonus, some increase of gains, for example. 11th house is your long-term goals and dreams and wishes, especially such connected to your health and routines and bad habits that you can wrap up, fulfill, release, or connected to your work as well. So there is this connection between the 11th and the 6th house through the ruler of the eclipse. So yeah, this is some of the ways it can play out. But yeah, biggest focus is the 6th house. Of course, you have things happening in the 5th as well, and especially they become more and more potent in April when Mercury and Venus come back here. That's more about your love life, your personal ways of how you have fun, that you would revise and you can change, or some creative projects as well. But last but not least, Neptune is entering at the very last day of March 30th, I think. Your 6th house will stay there for 14 years. I mean, it will stay to October, then dip out of it, and then 2026 enter fully your 6th house for 13 years. And Neptune wants to transcend the limitations of a house. It's a slow process. It might take 12, 13 years. but to transcend the limitations, for example, of your health. Can have miraculous healings. It can have, but through belief. It doesn't happen only through a plan that you make. It's not going to work like that over the next 13 years, more like psychosomatically, or to transcend the limitations and to transcend the range of your work. You might be given a work that feels more aligned to your soul and a mission over the next 13, 14 years. Sixth house is your service that you do to the work, and you might do a lot more charitable service, working, helping others in some way. Oh, a mission there. But Mercury, Neptune in specific will be really helped by other planets. So some divine outpouring of miracles, they will be through your sixth house. But I speak a lot more about Neptune through the houses, and if it's making hard aspect, if it's transiting your sixth house, say if you have planets in Libra, for example, or Cancer, or Capricorn, or Aries, or if it's making harmonious aspects when it transits through the sixth house, how it's going to play out. Say if you have planets in, I don't know, Sagittarius or Leo or Gemini, it would be almost like a miracle job, miracle health, healing, and so on. But also any possible transits Neptune can do through the sixth house. Oh, not the sixth, maybe Neptune square your Saturn, Neptune conjunct your Mercury, Neptune opposition your Venus. I give interpretations and personal stories, real life stories about each those possible, how they manifest, so you can be prepared. And I show you how to calculate exactly which year you're going to have a Neptune supportive or more challenging transit, how to overcome it, what's the set of mind you have to fly through it, so you can really tap into the higher vibrations of Neptune rather than the deception and confusing ones. And it's only $20 this webinar for 5 hours, so you're welcome to join us to watch it. It's my best selling so far this year. It's really record sales so far in the thousands, so I'm really proud of it. But you, Scorpio, your first cleaning house, reorganizing, getting rid of unhealthy things, of mess, of waste as well, because sixth house likes to run a tight regimen. And then new opportunities comes for you there through the through the lunar eclipse, solar eclipse, to get your life in order, to be more organized, more, what's that word? Not just meticulous, but conscientious. And I know Scorpio are naturally good at that, their focus. But yeah, but first don't worry, because there might be disruptions, as I said, in your everyday and other areas of life. But everything towards middle of April starts, moving ahead again, becoming more manageable and giving much better results than before. So thank you very much, and open yourself to the mystery and magic of Neptune in the sixth house, which many times it can even relieve a person to transcend the need to work. If you're the lucky one, I mean, not just retirement, but there might be such circumstances with Neptune in the 12th house, in the sixth house over the next 13, 14 years, where you don't need to work 9 to 5. That God aligns it, so you see that a lot more is possible than you thought before. So enjoy the magic.